Parliament, because today the Minister for the Interior, Mohammed Muntaka, was there to answer questions. And one of the questions that came up, especially from the minority leader, Alexander Afenyo Marking, was the attempted arrest of Member of Parliament for Akwatia MP due to a court order. Now, he says that it was unconstitutional and the minister was aiding and abetting in an illegality. Let's listen to what transpired.
The Akwatia High Court on 19 February 2025 issued a bench warrant for the arrest of Member of Parliament for Akwatia constituency. The warrant was served on the National Security National Intelligence Bureau (NIB's) Eastern Regional Office through the National Security Coordinator. Right, Honorable Speaker, the circumstances surrounding the attempted arrest of the Member of Parliament by the officers of the NIB was therefore to carry out the orders of the High Court per the warrant dated 19 February 2025 for committer for contempt. It was avoided if my colleagues had gone to court. If they had gone to court the day they needed him, it was avoided. The court shouldn't have issued Mr. Speaker, I recollect very much that my colleague from Bimbila and I were in this chamber when the clerk was reminding each and every one of us to take our oath that if you know there's any service on you and you go ahead to take the oath, you should be ready to follow the consequences. And my colleague, you and I all agreed, and we affirmed to the person that yes, we are ready to take the oath as members of Parliament and suffer any consequences. So if our colleague is going through this predicament, when he knew that he had this court issue, he's clear on his mind that he was going to have this challenge.
That's the Interior Minister, Alhaji Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak. Let's go to Parliament live now. There's that debate on the 2025 budget, which is currently underway.
The theme of this budget is resetting the economy for the Ghana we want. Mr. Speaker, what is the meaning of reset? Reset means to set again or differently. It means that the economy of Ghana was on the proper track to deliver prosperity unto the people of Ghana. And within the last 8 years, we veered off completely. And so this is the time to bring back the economy on the proper track. And that is what this budget is seeking to do. Mr. Speaker, this is the explanation, the meaning.
Honorable, you see, that's why you were asked to come and stand on the dispatch.
Okay.
Because once you are there, the leader can interrupt. And I see that is why yes, leader.
Mr. Speaker, our elders say, Agro Beswa Ifianopa. Mr. Speaker, I am surprised that the Minister of Agric is here to defend a budget. Mr. Speaker, he should look at the allocation. The minister said he was giving you 1.5 billion. When you look at the expenditure, only 924 million. Even so, you have over 40% of it in compensation. This is the first year. You've said nothing about agriculture and you are here to defend this budget. And you're saying what? That your ministry has been rendered redundant. Mr. Speaker, politics will lead a man somewhere. What is it in your budget? What is it about agric?
Leader.
No, but
leader, thank you.
Look at the figures.
Leader, thank you.
Look at the figures.
Leader, thank you. Leader, thank you.
And you are here to defend this budget?
Yes, Speaker. Yes, let me. You have 15 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I believe that the practice in this House is that when the budget is presented, we look at the policies first and then we move to the appropriation. It is when we are dealing with the appropriation that we look at the figures involved. It appears the Honorable Minority Leader is jumping the gun to look at appropriations when we are not there at all. So this is the time for us to look at policies. And I'm here to present the policies and to explain. Mr. Speaker, the theme of the budget says that resetting the economy for the Ghana we want. Reset means that something was on the proper track, it veered off completely, and now we want to bring it back. And that is what this budget seeks to do. Reset means set again or differently. And so this budget intends to bring the economy of Ghana on the proper track. And so, Mr. Speaker, I would like to focus on where the economy was, where it veered off to, and the measures we are putting in place in the budget to bring back the economy on the proper track to deliver prosperity to all Ghanaians, including our minority, the few people who are here as minority members. Mr. Speaker, in 2016, we have been told that growth rate was 3.7%. And they say that 2024, they recorded 5.7%. And therefore, we should praise them. Mr. Speaker, in 2016, when the Ghanaian economy recorded growth rate of 3.6%, as they are saying, food inflation was 9.7%. Food inflation was 9.7% from your own budget in 2017. Today that you are talking about 5.7% growth rate, your food inflation is hovering above 23%. And you know the implications of rising food inflation. When your food prices are going up, it means that you are pushing a lot of people into the abject poverty zone. So you are making Ghanaians poorer and poorer, even though you claim you have recorded growth rate of 5.7%. Mr. Speaker, in 2016, the Bank of Ghana, that has the mandate to print money for this country, recorded profit. But in 2024, 2022, 2023, 2024, you are claiming that growth rate is 5.7%. But look at where you have landed the Bank of Ghana. In just 1 year, they recorded a loss of 60.8 billion Ghana cedis, unprecedented in the history of this country. That amounted to $5 billion United States dollars. And for the sit here touting 5.7 growth rate as an achievement, it appears you don't understand the budget. You are lost completely. In 2016, there was nothing like that exchange program. You came into office, you borrowed, you expended the money, and when the time was due for you to pay, you didn't have the capacity to pay. That is reckless borrowing. There was no arrangement for you to pay. And so you had to go to your creditors to plead for the postponement of your debt. That is the meaning of the debt exchange program you implemented. And you know the implications of what that program that you did. The budget says that because of the debt exchange program, in 2025, the debt that you postponed, the money you expended and refused to pay and postponed for us to come and pay, that amount alone, 2025, and at this budget, we are paying 18.3 billion. 2026, we are paying 22 billion. 2027, we are paying 58 billion. 2028, we are paying 53 billion. All together, we are paying 150 billion. And you have the guts, the effrontery to come and sit here and then chastise the NDC for resetting, for correcting the wrongs the damage that you have done to the Ghanaian economy. Please and please again, I am surprised that you have this courage, in spite of all that you have done to us. Mr. Speaker, what is most important is this. When the GDP growth was 3.6, the growth rate was 3.6% in 2016, the credit agencies, we were rated B+. You took the economy to junk status. Our economy was rated junk status. You understand the meaning of junk status? Junk status, non-investment grade. Non-investment grade. It means that nobody should invest in our economy. It means that nobody should invest in the Ghanaian economy. Somebody is saying that before leaving office, you had CCC+. Do you know the meaning? It means that high risk of default. Even that high risk of default. That is where we have landed us. And so what we need to do is not to continue on the path that you charted. It is to reset. And that is what this budget is seeking to do. Mr. Speaker, in 2016, the total debt of this nation, the total debt of our nation was 120 billion. 120 billion. In 2024, the debt had ballooned to over 700 billion. 741 billion. We handed over an economy to you with a growth rate of 3.6%, on the back of which you were able to borrow and borrow and borrow to the extent that now Ghana can no longer borrow again. You created it. And now you are coming, the economy that we have today, Ghana cannot borrow from international sources. We can't issue bonds. Ghanaians have lost credibility. They have lost faith in government of Ghana bonds because of your recklessness. And I'm surprised that you can come and sit here and create the impression that all is well. Have you forgotten that we left with you the sinking fund? And we left in the sinking fund almost $300 million. You depleted everything. And today, you have handed over to us sinking fund with just $64,000. What about the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund? What about the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund?
Honorable members,
we handed over to you the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, in which we have $274 million. You have expended everything and even collateralized the process. You have collateralized the process. Into the, yes, Jeff, you don't know. You see, you are lost. What about the Ghana GET Fund? What about the GET Fund? We gave you the GET Fund with direct inflows into the fund to support education development. And look at what you have done. You created special purpose vehicle called Dachi PLC and collateralized process into the GET Fund. Ahead of us, we introduced into this house the energy sector levies to rake in almost 3 billion Ghana cedis every year to enable us deal with the legacy debt at the energy sector. When you assume office, you collateralize the process for 15 years. 15 years. So what we have to do now is to change the status quo. We have to change the story. And that is what this budget is seeking to do. That is the meaning of the reset that we are talking about. Mr. Speaker, in 2016, we needed 10 billion Ghana cedis to pay as interest on our nation's debt. Today in the budget, because of your reckless borrowing, we need 65 billion Ghana cedis to pay as interest. Now we are talking about cocoa Akwatia. Look at how we have damaged the cocoa sector. Mr. Speaker, in 2016, when the growth rate was 3.6%, cocoa production was 969,000 tons. Today, you are talking about growth rate of 5.7%. Meanwhile, cocoa production is around 530,000 tons. Mr. Speaker, in 2016, when the growth rate was 3.6%, the total debt of cocoa board was 1 billion Ghana cedis. Today, the total debt of cocoa board is 32 billion Ghana cedis. 9.7 billion of that is due for payment this year. And you are here defending this. Your credibility is at stake. Please, give us the opportunity to reset. Give us the opportunity to reset. Now, how do you reset it? Now, listen to the reset. This is how we want to reset it. You want to hear about cocoa price? Let's do the reset first. Mr. Speaker, the agenda for the reset is what we call agriculture for economic transformation agenda. Our government has decided to use agriculture as the vehicle to engender economic transformation in this country. To be able to do this, we have crafted the relevant strategies. The first strategy is what we call the Feed Ghana program. Under the Feed Ghana program, we want to drive this nation towards food sufficiency so that we can reduce the huge food import bill, restore stability to the exchange rate, and then ensure that every Ghanaian living within the boundaries of this country is fed from local sources. Mr. Speaker, we are dealing with the policies. When you come to appropriation, I hope you understand. You have been in this house for a long time, so you know what appropriation means. Now, under the Feed Ghana program, we have the Vegetable Development Project. This one is focused on the production of vegetables like tomato, onion, pepper, and the rest of them. We have had planting for food and jobs for 8 solid years. But in your own budget, specifically, paragraph 401 of the 2024 budget, you reported to this house that Ghana is still importing pepper, that Ghana is still importing tomato, and it is estimated that we are importing tomato at a cost of $400 million annually from Burkina Faso. We are importing onion at a cost of $24 million from Niger. This must be changed, and that is why we have introduced the Vegetable Development Project, under which we want to increase production of these vegetables to win ourselves off of the import.
So, and Honorable Minister, you must begin to descend for landing.
I will descend soon, Mr. Speaker.
Okay.
And then we're also implementing the Grains Development Project. This one we are targeting the rice, maize, soya, and the rest of them. Then we also have the Poultry Farm to the Table Project. Poultry Farm to the Table Project. And then the Nkukwan Kitenkete Program. Mr. Speaker, let me put on record today that Nkukwan Kitenkete Program is an ongoing program. It was started by your government. You don't know. You are saying, hey,